Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Sam.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, great. Well, it's not season 1. Okay, we don't have that fresh of content anymore. I saw this card game online. I can't remember even where I saw it, but it's called We're Not Really Strangers. And basically, like, the whole thing, being that we're, like, so close to strangers.
Yeah.
You and I, it's like, the whole point of it is, like, to get to know other people.
Okay. I'd love to get to know you.
Yeah, it's about time.
Are you joking? My eyes are already fucking watering.
Oh, boy.
What is wrong with me? Like, this is an actual, like,
I'd love to get to know you.
ailment at this point. People are going to think that it's, like, a shtick, and it's just...
It's really not.
Yesterday, I think it was, I was, like, sitting in our computer chair talking to Sam, and her dog was, like, on me, and Sam was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "Okay."
It was like full, like it wasn't like an eye water. It was like tears streaming down her face. And I was like, oh.
Just having a casual conversation. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
No
I'd
worries.
like to get to know you.
Yeah, okay, great. There's like 3 different levels to this. There's levels to this shit. There's 3 different levels. So the first one is perception. The second one is connection. And then the third one is reflection.
Oh.
And they all rhyme. I've hand selected some of these questions because some of them were like a little bit too like we're actually strangers, lol.
Okay.
So, anyways, you go first.
Oh, what was your first impression of me?
Oh,
My eyes are watering.
She's like opening her eyes super wide to try and get them not to water. My first what?
Impression of me.
My first impression of you. It's so weird that I can like remember what you were wearing too.
What was I wearing?
You were wearing black Lululemons, and then you had a white like baggy t-shirt that was like tied.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so odd that we like, because we got paired, right? That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought you were like funny and pleasant.
So like, why did you decide to like be my friend? Somebody was asking us that, and I'm like, gosh, I just don't know. Like, it was just like a thing, I guess.
Do you decide? Like, I feel like a lot of the times that's not like really a conscious decision. It's kind of just like you jive or you don't, you know?
Yeah, but like, I don't think we had to sit next to each other. Like, I think we just decided
I mean, it's so odd that like we got paired. Like, it's weird just thinking that like that one thing changed the very course of our life.
Yeah.
And now everyone has to sit and listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Because of that moment. But yeah, I don't know. I think that we probably just like got along really well that first day.
Yeah, I think so too.
I've
I've
started
answered
sitting together.
Yeah, until I decided to sit away from you. But then nobody wanted to sit with me. Just because I was trying to focus on my studies, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sam was not that concerned with her studies.
Do you implement everything you learned in day-to-day here?
In Socials 10?
Yeah.
I didn't learn anything in Socials 10 because I sat next to you.
Well, I can, so our socials class is like our history class. Let me break it down for you. Fur trade.
De Beaver.
That's literally it. Like,
Louis Riel.
It's all fucking fur trade shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was. John A. McDonald.
Oh, what about me is most strange or unfamiliar to you?
Oh.
It's a weird question.
Do you know what is a little strange now?
What?
Because you're like, oh no. Because when we first became friends, I feel like we were both like quite, not like touchy, but like I feel like I remember like always hugging you and like snuggling with you and like you tickling my feet and stuff, but you're not as like touchy of a person.
I'm really not.
Yeah. And not that it's like you don't want to touch me, but I just remember like back in the day, I feel like, because I'm such like a touchy person, and like I'm like babe and like love and, and Sam's kind of just like, put her there, pal. Even when like she was going on her trip for a long time, I was like, and she's like, okay. The one arm hug. I don't know, it's not that it's like strange, but like when I first like got back like knowing you as an adult, I was just like, okay,
we don't hug anymore. Okay,
yeah, that's fine. Special occasions only.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like I used to I don't know, like I feel like I used to be a lot more like touchy-feely. You know what I think changed that is that when I was in relationships and stuff like that, I was like so hard into them. And that person was like my whole world kind of thing. And I didn't do anything else. And I think that like at that time, that's why I was more like that. And then when I started being less like that, I just started not being as touchy.
Yeah.
Because like I just am not like as focused on like my like romantic partner that way. So I think that just like translated across the board.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? I am kind of like that too, actually, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still touchy, but not like I like used to be. Like I would just like get right in there.
We used to be in class and Alyssa would put her leg up. She would take her shoe off. She would put her leg up onto my lap and be like, "Can you give me tickles?" Like in a public setting.
Our high school was like outrageously lax.
Yeah,
I'm now realizing. Scratches or tickles? Tickles. Okay. Do you think I intimidate others? Why or why not? That's a weird question for me.
Yeah. I think that you have like the ability to be intimidating, but I think that that's more of like a conscious choice for you in some settings.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that like just naturally you don't really come off that way because you are really, you know, just like personable and like you can like chit chat with anyone and like, you know, no one would ever know if you don't like them basically.
Right.
Unless you wanted it known.
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, I think that it makes you seem there's never going to be an episode where I'm not going to say approachable or you're not going to say approachable. But I do think that because of that, it does make you seem like just a more approachable person. So even if someone was like maybe initially thinking that they'd be intimidated by like your skill or your experience or whatever, like any of those things, I think when they actually get talking to you, they wouldn't probably feel that way.
I think it's interesting that you said like unless like I decide for it, which is like so true. Man, I love being confrontational with authority figures when it's like appropriate. I'm like,
When it's appropriate.
sir, ma'am.
Oh, do I seem like someone who would get a name tattooed on myself? Why or why not?
Yeah, mine. Do I think that you...
Chest tattoo.
Yeah.
Alyssa.
Full sleeve. I think you actually might, like, but I feel like it wouldn't be like, well, I mean, you're married, but like a partner's name sort of thing. I think it would be the dogs.
I wouldn't.
Like, but would you get like a symbol for them?
I would get a symbol, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't get a name tattooed.
Right.
I don't feel like that ever... I don't know. I guess that like I just prefer like art kind of thing. Not that like lettering can't be art, but like I wouldn't like look at a tattoo that said arrow and be like, oh, my dog.
Right.
You know,
you like symbolism.
Yeah, like I'd rather like I don't know. I wanted to get like dog skulls, like 2 dog skulls, and then someone else got dog skulls. So I was like, never mind.
That's also like
It's not that morbid. It's cool.
Like I knew I was gonna say morbid.
It's not. I think it would be really nice.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only person that knows their dog skulls. Unless you're like a skull fanatic.
Right. A skull connoisseur.
In which case you're probably cool with it. You probably are down with it.
With the dog skulls. Ooh, level 2. Connection.
Let's really connect now.
Yeah.
Touch my hand.
Oh, sorry. She's trying to initiate the touch. I let you down.
Connection. See, you know, I try and I get turned down.
No, you do not. I think this is for you. How can you become a better person? Or do I answer? I don't understand that.
Yeah, you're asking me.
Yeah, how can you become a better person?
Why would you ever ask me that?
It's not my fault.
How can I become a better person? I would say that sometimes I feel like I can be like pretty standoffish in like group settings. And so I think that if I didn't do that, that would be a positive thing. And like I think that so like when I was younger, I used to really feel like, I don't think I actually believed that I was like better than other people, but I came off that way because I was like mad about like other people being in like a place that I wanted to be in or whatever. Like I didn't like seeing people being like celebrated. And I just, I don't know why. I think I was just like a sad person, but I still have like a little bit of that residual where like my like immediate reaction is to like almost like want to like hate on someone. not obviously like to their face or anything like that, but it's just like pops into my mind to like say something shitty or like downplay whatever they're doing or whatever. Like it's still like just like this little like residual thing that like just pops into my mind, and I don't actually feel that way. Like I am like happy for people, and the people that I used to look at and be like, like, why are they successful, blah, blah, blah. I look at everybody now and I'm like, oh, like, I used to think I was so fucking talented, and now I look at everybody else and I'm like, everybody else is talented. like, it blows my mind, like, looking at some of these people and, like, their talent and all that kind of stuff. And so I do feel like all these people, like, that I used to kind of have those, like, sort of, like, almost judgmental thoughts about, I feel completely differently now, but it's just weird. It's still like an old habit die hard kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I didn't know you were still having that internal dialogue.
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, there you go. I hope you get a fucking hard hitter. If this is like, what's your favorite ice cream? I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Oh, what are you still trying to prove to yourself?
Was that a level 3? Damn.
We're into level 12, bitch.
Yeah.
No, that's level 2.
I think that I'm still trying to prove to myself that I can be happy without external substances.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it was really, really hard for me in the beginning to enjoy anything without being like drinking or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think that I'm succeeding, but there are still times where I'm like, will that be as fun? So I think that I'm still like trying to every day like prove that that is true, and that like, okay, yes, this is just as fun, or like my life is just as good without all of these substances.
Do you think that you kind of like what I was just talking about? Do you think that the thought process is almost more of like an old habit die hard thing, or do you actually like believe that it's not as fun and you have to like try to make it more fun?
In the beginning, I definitely had to try to make it more fun. Now it's just like I'm so used to it that it's like not an issue, and I don't ever wake up and I'm like, ugh, I wish I could have a drink today. Like, fuck no. I can't even imagine having a drink. But yeah, I think that it is probably like, I think it's a little bit true, mostly with traveling. Like, I'm really concerned about like enjoying traveling as much still.
Okay.
And not like around here. Not like around here, but like, you know, places like Greece, or like if I were to go back to Central America, like would I have as much fun, sort of thing. But yeah, I think that a little bit it is just like my brain.
I was talking to Matt last night saying that like I never really realized you had like a problem with like drinking specifically. And it's still weird to me to like think that you were like drinking in my house, like, you know, in a way that maybe wasn't like the healthiest or whatever. Like, it's weird to think that we were like just rooms apart.
Yeah.
And I had like no idea. But yeah, that's interesting.
Well, and I think like with drinking and stuff like that too, because it wasn't like really affecting like my external life. It was really just affecting me at that point, because like I wasn't like obviously like stealing or like anything like that. Like, it was mostly just when everybody else was going to bed, I was just going to stay up and like drink more, basically. Yeah. And like the intent behind alcohol was a lot different for me. Even if I wasn't drinking like a cup, like more than a couple, it was still like the internal, but outwardly it's just like, oh, she's just having like 2. Yeah. I think that's why, because my other friends that like my other like close friends, the 2 of them, like said the same thing. They were like, you didn't have a problem with alcohol. And I'm like, okay, well, you can believe that. It's fine with me.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
What's the most pain? Yeah.
Quit reacting before you ask me the question.
Sad. What is this, level 2 only? Damn. What's the most pain you've ever been in that wasn't physical?
Oh, well, that's not fun. I would say, like, my answer for years and years and years would have been like my one breakup, because I was so upset about it for so long. Like, it was horrible. But I would actually say that it was Matt and I like broke up for like a couple of days kind of thing, and then got back together. But Matt, we just had like such a tumultuous relationship in the beginning. And when Matt came back, and like, cause he was living with me, and was like back in the house and stuff like that, he was like, he kept saying to me, he was like, well, we don't like have that foundation anymore. Like, I had invited him, because we go to my parents' house every Sunday for dinner, and he like didn't want to go the first Sunday, and he was like, we don't have that foundation anymore. So he would be like really cold to me and stuff like that, and I was just like trying to like pour my heart out to him and be like super kind and super loving, and like trying to like be, you know, like what I thought he needed or like what would bring us closer or whatever. And that went on for like a month and a half of me just like literally being like, love you, I love you, babe, like, do you want to do this? No, okay, like, you know, just like really like meek kind of thing, and him being like just super cold and standoffish and whatever.
I can't even imagine you.
Dude, I know. But yeah, that was really, really like hard for me. And at one point I had booked up at like the ski hill to like bring my whole family for like Mother's Day, and I thought Matt was coming as well, and then he just didn't come. And I was like in the bathtub, I was crying.
Oh.
Because it just was like hard. Like I was like, this is such a weird, I'm gonna cry. I was like, this is just such a weird feeling to feel like I'm like, I know that I'm better than this. Like I know that I don't like deserve this treatment. So like, why am I putting myself through it?
Right.
When like I wasn't even at that time, especially like I really wasn't sure that I wanted to like continue that relationship. We hadn't been dating that long. It's not like we had like put in 4 years or anything like that. And it was just, I felt like almost embarrassed because I was like, why? I had looked back, I've said this a couple times, but I've looked back every now and again through like old Facebook messages between me and like ex-boyfriends, and I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe how much I just like let people step all over me, basically, because that's so not me, like at my core. And so like in that moment, I think I just felt really like embarrassed that I was like, why am I back here? Like at this age, and like after everything I know and everything I've like learned and come through, how the fuck did I end up back in this place?
Right.
Where I'm doing this again? And so I would say that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Aww.
Yeah, I know this is gonna get depressing.
Yeah.
What's a dream you've let go of? Me learning Spanish with you?
Yeah, I mean, probably. That I don't think that dream's ever gonna come true. But I don't know that I ever like really let go of dreams. I will say, like, I'm less passionate about acting now, seeing like the business side of it.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm like, oh, I only like worked at it for a year and I'm not getting anywhere, so I don't want to do this anymore. But it's more so like the juice might not be as like
worth the squeeze,
you know, like it's
like maybe you were like just kind of like disillusioned almost into thinking it was something different than what it was.
Yeah, and not that I thought I would be like successful or anything like right away, but even like I just don't know that it's like actually what I even want. So I don't know if it's like letting go of a dream, like it's like this thing that I can't attain. It's just more so like realizing that maybe this isn't like my passion as much. And I still really like acting, and I like performing and stuff like that, but I just don't know that I want it to be like my career.
Does that make you sad, or are you kind of just like happy to like have clarity around it?
I think it would make me sad if I wasn't doing the podcast and like doing my channel and stuff like that.
She loves the podcast. well.
Because it's still a creative outlet. Like, I think more than anything, I just like creativity, and I'm not like, I don't know what to call it. I keep calling it like tactile. Like, I'm not good at like hand art, like painting, drawing. See, I don't even know what it's called. Stuff like that. Like, I'm more so, like expressive, like this.
Theater.
Yeah. So as long as I'm still doing something like that, yeah, it makes me happy. Do you think you have the image? Do you think the image you have of yourself matches the image people see you as?
No.
Yeah, of course not.
Not even like slightly. Yeah, no. It's so weird to me when people like, just like some of the things that people say online, and like a lot of the things like I don't really take to heart. Like, you just say shit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, some of the stuff people say to me, I'm like, as fucking if, bro. Like, I can't believe how like some people like view me.
If you had to say like collectively, and not necessarily like negatively, but like collectively, what people think of you, and then like what you think of yourself.
I think like across the board, the biggest thing, like people in my real life and then people like that follow me online, I think that they view me as like being like pretty successful, I guess. But I don't feel that way, basically.
Okay.
At all. Because, like, I just think that I guess the thing is, like, I didn't go into this career specifically with, like, any, like, real intention in mind. it just kind of happened. And obviously, like, once the ball got rolling, then I was like working at it and trying to learn and trying to do better. And I would set goals for myself after the fact, but it's not like I got into this industry being like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And so because of that, it's sort of like when I meet these goals and achievements and stuff like that, I'm not really like, yeah, like this is what I've been working for. It just kind of comes and goes, and I'm like, okay, like on to the next thing that I have to do. So I don't feel like a lot of satisfaction in that way, or like sense of achievement. But then sometimes, like when people from our high school and stuff like that, if I see them every now and again, it's so fucking weird how some of those people talk to me. Like it's weird what they think my life is versus what it actually is. Like I'm sitting in my bed with the greasiest hair playing Stardew Valley.
That
and
is
you
true.
think I'm like some rock star. Like I'm like just like a ball of shot cola, and I'm not.
Well, you are a rock star, but you are a rock star in bed playing Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
I am a rock star at Stardew Valley. That's the truth.
You've always been really good at games like that, though.
You know what? It's the passion that exists within me.
Yeah, because you've always liked to play the games.
I know it's such a problem though, because like I will go years and years and years not playing anything, and then when I get into a game, like
I do still remember the Kim Kardashian game days.
oh fuck, that was ridiculous. I literally downloaded that game and I was like, who the fuck is stupid enough to do like in-game purchases? I don't even want to talk about how much money I spent on that app. Like what is wrong with me?
Kim Kardashian's second house is just from you.
That's why I like, yeah, no shit. That's why I like Stardew Valley, because I have to pay once.
Yeah.
And there's no in-game purchases.
Yeah.
So all that is wasting is my time.
I had a fish tank one time, and
Fish tank app?
I think it was on the first or the second iPad.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I bought coins.
Dude, oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you wild woman.
Yeah.
99 cents you'll never get back.
Yeah.
I had a game that was like frogs, and you had to like leap them to like different pads to mate with each other. Oh, it was fucking awesome.
Cool.
Dude, it was so great. Yeah. Anyway, what part of your life works and what part of your life hurts?
I don't know. I feel like lots of parts of my life work right now. The only thing that hurts is that I'm not making like lots of money.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I like living here works. Like I'm happy in all of my relationships, and I'm happy in like my body more so now than I was before, and in my like nutrition and stuff. Oh, you want to talk about what hurts? All of my chronic illnesses, actually. But yeah, other than that, like, I mean, the thing is like I deal with like a lot of guilt surrounding money. So like if I spend money, then I feel guilty if I'm not like bringing more in. It's not that I'm like not making money. It's just I overspend. So it's I would say like more so than like not making a bunch of money. It's more so that I like have a problem with spending money. So that part like hurts, but that's like self-inflicted hurt.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if like making money thing is like more about like because you enjoy making money, or like it makes you feel successful, or if it's like more of a guilt thing.
It's a guilt thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I feel like I could be doing more, but like I mean that's the thing is like feeling like when you wake up you're feeling like so sick all the time, and you have to like base your work day around like how you feel that day.
Yeah.
I mean you can relate. Mine's
Yeah.
just like a physical thing, and yeah. Not that yours isn't physical, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mine's like my actual like physical body's giving out on me.
Knees are buckling.
Yeah, dude, my hip.
Oh.
I'm an 80-year-old woman. What lesson took you the longest to unlearn?
I would say either the thing that I was talking about with like being kind of like judgmental, or and like that's a thing, like it's so weird because like I'm not really like actually a judgmental person, but it's sort of like I guess like it was my defense mechanism. So weird. But I would say either that or like leaning on people. Because I think that for the longest time, like I felt like with like romantic partners specifically, I really felt like it was like their responsibility to make me happy, and I had this belief that like when I met the right person, I would know because I'd be happy, like
Right.
like in all aspects, not just in the relationship. And so I think that coming to terms with the fact that like that isn't actually reality, and like it was in my own hands, was really like hard for me, because I just wanted that to be the case, because I was like, well, I can't fucking do it because I'm not doing it, obviously,
right?
or I would
Yeah.
be happy. Like
Yeah.
So I would say that.
Yeah.
But also I mean there's a lot of lessons I think as well, in saying that it's sort of like I went from like one end of the spectrum to the other, because then I went into such a shell of like not wanting help from anybody.
Right.
Because I felt like I can just do this on my own. Like, I don't need anybody else. I don't need anything. Like, I can do it. I can be like strong enough to like make this happen. And that's like, now looking back, it's like I spent 10 years being like so depressed and sick because of it, and not able to like perform to the best of my abilities, not able to like enjoy everything in my life. Like, I'm like, what a fucking shame, all these things that I've had the opportunity to do. And it was like, you know, like a 16th of the fun because I was so sad all the time. But it was because like I just felt like, no, like therapy might work for other people, but it's not going to work for me. And I don't need medication, because like if I just try hard enough, then like this will be fine. And like it just turns out that that's not true. But I think that was like a really, I really didn't want to like admit defeat with that.
Right. And to you, admitting defeat was like reaching out for medication or therapy.
Yeah.
No, that ain't defeat, baby.
Ooh. Are you lying to yourself about anything? I'm glad I didn't get that one.
I don't know that I'm lying to myself about this, but this is kind of like springboarding off the last one. I think because I feel so shitty a lot of the time.
Sorry, I feel so giddy. I don't know why. Like, I just feel like...
You're like...
I know, like, I'm like, this would be so fun to, like, actually do with a stranger, because I'd be like, motherfucker.
Well, and especially because you love getting to know, like, the fucking deep...
I'm going to memorize these.
Yeah. Like, taking his mental snapshot. I think because I feel so physically shitty often... I think that I probably tell myself that I deserve more of a break than I need. Do you know what I mean? Like because, like, if I wake up and I'm like feel like I have the flu that day, which is like basically every day, then I'm like, ugh, I just like, I don't have to go upstairs yet. Like, I don't have to start working yet, or like whatever. And it's like, I mean, this is just like who I am. This is like what I have to do. Yeah. So just get upstairs. Like, you're not gonna die if you go up there and start working. It just like, it sucks, but it's not going to be any better tomorrow. Yeah. So I think, more so than like, well, I guess that's lying to myself. But
I do the same thing with myself, like mentally though, for sure. Like, cause if I wake up and I'm like feeling so depressed, I'm just like, well, I mean, I guess that's that.
Yeah.
Stardew it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. What are you more afraid of, failure or success, and why?
Oh, failure for sure. Yeah, I think that like failure to me is, especially like with some of the things that like I'm working on, that like involve other people, it's like horrific to me. Like I'm more okay with like failing myself than I am with like failing people around me. But yeah, I don't think that success, like, what is it? I'm scared of it. I don't think that I'm afraid of success. I think that I just don't know how attainable that feeling is for me.
Success.
Yeah, because like success isn't really like actually a tangible thing. You know what I mean? Right. Like it's an idea.
Well, it's subjective also.
Yeah.
Somebody actually saying that, somebody said how much, something about pain the other day, and I was like, how can you rate that? That's, pain is not, like, it's subjective. You can never know how much pain somebody's in. So weird. I wish I could remember what that was from, but anyway.
Probably a tweet. There's always someone saying some dumb shit on Twitter that pisses me off. When was the last time you surprised yourself? That's a positive one.
That is a positive one. My mind immediately went to like my like little fitness journey. Because like when I found out that I was a certain weight and then like cried about it, I really didn't know how I was ever going to get back to a place where like I found myself like attractive and like sexy. And I tried for like months before I quit drinking to like work out and like change my eating habits and stuff like that. And like literally nothing was changing. And so I was just kind of like really like upset and felt like nothing was ever going to change. And then I quit drinking, and then this happened, and here we are 30 pounds later. So I think that I did surprise myself like by being so committed to like eating healthy for my body and like working out and like enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to like push. I mean, some days I have to push myself to go to the gym, but most of the time I'm like fucking ready to go.
Okay, well, you being surprised by yourself is like a lot more like impressive than like if I had gotten that question, it would have literally been that like, you know, drawer organizers.
Yeah.
Okay, I put like double-sided tape in my cupboard and then put the drawer organizer on top of it so that it wouldn't like slide around. And I was like, fucking brilliant. Like I was like, this is unreal. Like I cannot believe. Like I was actually like so impressed.
So innovative.
With yeah, I was like, if only everybody knew these fun facts. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, wow, this is incredible.
I mean, that's you know, small victories too.
Yeah, very small. Yeah.
What question are you trying to answer most in your life right now?
How I'm gonna get to where I want to be.
Where do you want to be?
One of like my biggest goals is to build a house, not with my hands. But yeah, like one of my biggest goals is to like build a house and really just have my house be like everything I want it to be.
You should say design a house so you don't have to say not with my hands. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I think that for me, like I spend so much time at home and I'm like such a like believer in like spaces and having spaces be like functional and like pleasing to your eyes and all those kinds of things. Like I want my home to be like everything I want basically. And so that's like a really big goal of mine. But I just don't know. I'm like, especially in Vancouver with those prices, I'm like,
right.
How is that gonna happen? I just don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think as well, like, you know, I have other like career related goals and stuff like that I'm just like, is this going to actually happen, or like am I just dreaming like way too big? Because I've never really like when other people are like, oh, like I wish I could do that, I'm just like, I just do it. And I don't really like stop to think about like what if kind of thing. But now that I'm getting older, I feel a little bit more that way. And so it's
probably because there's like more at stake.
Yeah, and I think that I feel almost like a little bit uncomfortable. Not that anybody's really like no one actually really gives a shit, but like I feel odd almost that like I have like some eyes on me, or that like some people, because of the perception that people have about me, I'm almost like, oh, like, but if I do this thing and I fail and I can't live up to that perception, well, nothing happens ultimately, but in my mind, that would be chaos.
Right.
You know? Have you changed your mind about anything recently?
I don't know if I have really. I don't know. I guess I'll go back to the acting one. Like I was really like pursuing it pretty heavily and thought that it was like my end all be all and like what was really going to make me happy. And I just don't know that that's true. So I don't know that I like fully am writing it off. Like I'm still like in it. But it's definitely not what like my creativity is necessarily going towards right now.
Do you think that like when you started kind of like getting into acting and going to classes and like being on set and stuff like that, do you think it was like an immediate thing where you were like, oh, that's not what I thought that would be like or feel like, and you just kind of like kept like pushing through? Or was it like over time you were like, ooh, this isn't really?
Being on set is like makes me like a different kind of happy.
Oh, really?
So like actually being on set, being surrounded by the production and stuff like that is like, it like ignites a flame in my heart that is like so pure.
How poetic.
Yeah, but the like getting to that point to be on set basically is like soul crushing, and not like not even like getting turned down. Like I don't want people to like think that it's because it's hard to get jobs. It's not even that. It's like politics of the industry. You know, there's always going to be people in your industry that are like some type of way that you aren't. Yeah. Basically. And I just find more often than not, I'm actually not connecting with those people. And so when you're surrounded by people because they're in your industry all the time and you don't necessarily connect with them, it's pretty hard. Yeah. Whereas I feel like in everything else I do, I surround myself with people who like make me happy and like lift me up, and I feel like it's easy to get along with, and so it's like more so than like even like the grind to get a job or to be on set. It's like everything else that encompasses that just doesn't really like
Yeah.
vibe with me. It's hard to say because like it's such a different experience for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can understand that though. That's kind of how I felt like when I started traveling a lot to like LA and stuff. I was just like, oh, like I had like an idea of what like industry would look like, and then when I got down there and was like in the thick of it, I was like, this isn't gonna work. Like this, like I don't like fit in here basically.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing.
Yeah. I still really like improv. I think improv's really fun.
I fucking love improv too.
Yeah. You should take an improv class.
No.
I think improv's really fun. You should take a class. No.
I think it's fun watching others.
Okay. It could be fun doing it yourself also. What is a compliment? Oh, what is a compliment you wished you for fuck's sake. What is a compliment you wish you received more frequently?
I think I would rather people compliment me on like being smart. Because I have people compliment me on like my looks or my makeup or whatever, or my hair and stuff like that. And it's not that that's not nice, because it is obviously, but like I guess I don't place a lot of value in that. Whereas like I feel maybe more insecure about not feeling smart enough or whatever. So yeah, I guess that.
Yeah. You are smart though.
Thank you so much.
And I'm not just saying that because you just said that.
Thanks. Every day you're like, hey Sam, you're smart.
Yeah.
What do you crave more of?
Tickles.
Other than Twix?
Tickles.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not getting enough tickles in my life.
That's fair.
Ever.
I mean, you're like a tough cup to fill with that one though.
I think I went probably 2 months without one tickle.
But like, okay, here's the thing about Alyssa wanting tickles. It's not like, it's a time commitment.
It's okay. Listen, I've gotten a little
Is it not?
Do I want you to tickle me for an hour? Yes. But have I grown as a person since then? Yeah. And
Slightly, yeah.
I don't always say something when you stop now. Like sometimes I just let it be for what it is. Maybe I only get 2 minutes of tickles and that's fine. But would I prefer if you tickled me for an entire documentary? Absolutely, of course. Who wouldn't prefer that?
I just don't know.
So all I'm saying is I'll call you smart. You throw me a tickle once in a while and it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, this world is all about taking what you can get.
I honestly, when I was a kid, I made it was called Foot Tickler 3000, and I stuck my foot in a shoebox. Not a shoebox, it was a cereal box. And I made a cutout, and then I took a feather and I would tickle. I'm pretty sure I told the story already because you were like, why wouldn't you just tickle your foot with the feather?
Instead of putting it in a box.
Because it felt more innovative.
That question still stands.
It felt more innovative.
It's the Foot Tickler 3000, okay? Otherwise, it's just a fucking feather.
Yeah. If I had all the money in the world, I would not. Well, I would hire a masseuse, but I would hire somebody just to give me light tickles.
I thought you were gonna say that you would put money into inventing that. No. And I'm like, I just don't think it's necessary.
No, but I would put money into an on hand. If somebody could tickle my arm while I was editing, or my legs, or my back.
My back. Someone's just standing behind you. This is weird. Someone's just standing behind you, gently tickling you.
Yeah, but in my hypothetical mind, it's not weird. Maybe it's a robot.
I'm picturing this as if you don't even notice them, and no one else does either.
Yeah.
It's just this person that's always there, perpetually tickling you.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a robot with human fingers.
Ew. I'm the boxiest robot with human fleshy hands. Gross.
Whatever. You don't understand me. You don't understand my need for tickles.
I want a robot with human hands to tickle me while I work.
Has a stranger ever changed your life?
Changed my life is a stretch, but changed my perspective. Yeah.
The cab driver? Is that what you're gonna say?
No.
I thought you were gonna say the cab driver.
I was on a Greyhound. I'm sure you know the story anyways, but I don't think I've told it on the podcast for once. But I was dating a guy that lived in Montana, and I used to take the Greyhound, and it was 15 hours. Fuck, it was brutal.
Yeah.
And I wasn't particularly happy with where my life was at and all that kind of stuff. And the guy I was sitting beside had like, he was like older, like he was probably like in his 40s or something. And he had like a bunch of like school textbooks. And he was like like studying the whole time. And at some point we like got to talking or something like that, and like I asked what he was studying, and he said like whatever he said. And I said like, oh, how come like you decided to get into that? And he was like, well, he was like, well, my wife died, and like this is what she was studying, and like this was like her, like she was like so excited to go back to school, and this was going to be like her thing and like her new career choice and stuff like that. So I wanted to like continue her studies for her.
Oh,
I know. Oh, it was like, and I was on the bus and I was like, like I was like, it was so, but he was just like so sincere and so like you could just tell like it just meant so much to him to like have that be something he could do.
Right.
And I just thought that was just a really like interesting interaction to have with a person that I would never see again.
Yeah. What was he studying? Do you remember?
I can't really remember now. It was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, you would have been like what, 19?
Yeah. What is something you wouldn't want to change about yourself?
I don't think that I'd want to change how, this is going to sound like I'm patting myself on the back, but you'll understand. Like how selfless I am. I'm such a selfless person.
I don't think I'd want that to change.
Hear me out.
Charity, my passion.
Hear me out. I knew it was going to sound
You take,
bad.
I give.
Because you are like often tell me that I put people before myself, and it's sometimes to my detriment, and like I'll do things even if I don't want to just because I've committed to them, etc. So am I always selfless? No. But I don't think that I'd want to change that about myself, because it does make me feel good knowing that people know that like I'm accountable, like they can count on me for like whatever. So yeah, it is to my detriment often, but like it makes me feel good in the long run. Is there a feeling you miss?
Happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss serotonin a lot. But I would say like fearlessness, or like almost like to an extent like almost like overconfident. Because when I was younger, like I said, like I really didn't stop to like think about like, is this a good idea? Is this gonna work? Like I just did. And like I do not know where that like came from, because my parents are like the exact opposite of that. Like everyone in my family actually is like exact opposite of that. Like they're all very calculated, and they're like, okay, so I have to like plan for this, and then I'll save for this, and then I'll do this like 18 months from now. And I'm like, right, I'm just gonna do it today and we'll see how it goes. But I still do that quite often, but like I'm way more scared about it now.
Right.
And like it makes me like, it's like I keep like doing those things and being impulsive basically, but it's like a real emotional roller coaster for me.
Right.
Like I'm like, oh yeah, it's not.
Again, I feel like it must be because there's like more at stake. Like when you're young, it's like, well, what do you really have to lose? But it's like we're getting older, you know, we're married, we might be thinking about kids, we might be wanting to like save for our future. So it's like there's a lot there's a lot more on the line.
Yeah. What is the most unexplainable thing that's ever happened to you?
I mean, this isn't very deep, but I'll tell the story.
So anyways, there was a ghost in my house.
Yeah. No. So this was when I lived in Toronto the first time. I had gone out partying. I think we went to like a Blue Jays game, and we had got invited into like one of the like suites or whatever. So there's free alcohol when you're there. I don't know if there was, but there was for us. And so me and my girlfriend got like absolutely like wasted, and then we went out to a bar later on, and somehow my wallet, which you had actually bought me, like either fell out of my purse or got stolen out of my purse or something like that, and I lost it. And it had my birth certificate in it, like it had all my I don't keep all that shit in there anymore.
I was gonna say, I'm like, why?
Yeah, but it had like everything in there that you could possibly have to like get like more of what you need, like the like credit cards and like whatever. Like I didn't have any more identification. So anyway, my entire wallet got stolen, and I went like a week without my wallet. I tried to get new identification and stuff like that. I couldn't because I didn't have any. So I was trying to get like my other, because I had two when I was born. Like I had a small one and a big one. So my mom was trying to send me my other birth certificate, all this stuff. And I had like made a promise to someone, don't know who it was, like God, an entity, do you know what I mean, that I would stop drinking and like turn my life around so that like stuff like this would stop happening. And after I did that and I went a full week without drinking, my wallet turned up at the place that I was working.
Weird. With all your shit in it?
It had like all of my like credit cards and all my like identification and stuff, except for like the cash that was in there, which was like pretty substantial at the time. But yeah, the only thing that connected me to that restaurant was I had my bar manager's like business card in there. But like I had tons of, because like people would give me their business cards all the time to give me their number or whatever. And so I had like a ton of business cards in there with like different like agencies and stuff on them. So I don't know how it showed back up there, other than the only thing that I can think of is that my friend stole my wallet and took all my money.
Oh, that could be.
And then once she realized that I literally could not live my life without it because
she's like, fuck it.
Yeah, and basically decided to like get somebody to turn it in, because I also asked the manager who dropped it off and he was like, I don't know, couldn't say.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I met a person one time that had business cards that were metal.
That's weird.
It was fucking weird. And they made like, if you like kind of like flicked them, it was like boing.
I think I met a guy who had weird business cards too.
I'll never forget it. That business card probably cost like fucking $25 a pop.
What did he do?
He imported foreign cars from Hong Kong to Vancouver.
Oh yeah, well that sounds like somebody who would have a metal
business card. Yeah.
Anyway, when you're asked how you are, how often do you answer truthfully?
It depends who it is.
Yeah, so let's pretend it's not like your subscribers, because I feel like you're often pretty honest if you're on like a YouTube live or something.
If it's like just like a retail worker and they're like, hey, how's it going? I'm not going to be like, well, not actually that good. Like, you know, like I wouldn't like subject them to that. Yeah. And be like, I'm having actually a really hard time. Yeah. But if it was like my family, I would be honest, or like a friend or whatever, I'd probably be honest.
Yeah.
I'm pretty like unabashed with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh, what do you think my defining characteristic is? That's weird. Oh, I'm nervous.
Well, this isn't really like that deep, and I'm sure people are like gonna expect me to go deep, but I really think that the thing that stands out about you the most when you first meet you is like your humor and your wit.
I can't disagree. I've been saying this to Matt for 3 years now.
So I would say that that's like your defining, because I don't think that I've met anyone else that is like as
Say it.
But like as consistently funny as well.
Fucking that's what I said to Matt. Yeah. We argue all the time about who's funnier, and I'm like, are you joking? And he's like, I have really good ones. And I'm like, once in a while, I'm like, I'm funny fucking constantly, dude. Like, God.
I've been spewing different kinds of liquid for 10 years now.
I can't stop myself.
It's so interesting because like you would think that I would get to a certain point where like I wouldn't like do a spit take, like, but
have we explained this on the podcast that you do this?
I don't know.
You know, like in movies when people like spit out their drink, Alyssa actually does that in real life onto people a lot of the time. One time it was soup.
It was seafood.
2 times it was soup.
Broccoli and cheese, and then the seafood.
Seafood.
That was bad. Gross. That was the first time I met that guy too.
Oh, gross.
It's only happened twice where it hasn't been Sam who made me do it.
I just feel like the seafood one in particular was like so creamy that like
it was
almost would have like
Chunkies.
how did it become a spray, you know?
I don't know. It's just that like, and this is the thing, is I feel like if you didn't know me, you might think that like I'm trying to put on a show or something, but it's like I'm a 26-year-old woman, okay? I'm not trying to pretend that I'm laughing so hard that water comes out of my mouth and onto my guest, okay? It's mortifying.
There's also times where like you are about to spew and then you like put your hand over your mouth and you like try and look away and then and then you turn back around and it still happens. Like you try to contain yourself and it's still
but it's like even in like
so one time Alyssa like spewed across the table, couldn't stop herself, and then she tried to turn to the side to like hold it in, and then she spewed again directly into my face. Like, you couldn't have faced the empty fucking wall on your left.
Was that at Felix's house?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so embarrassing. And even in like high school and stuff like that, I would get in trouble because like if I start really laughing, like I can't stop, and I'll like have to go like like it's like nothing can stop me from laughing. And I feel like that's what happens is when like you tell a joke and then like I can't stop it, like it's just the force of air is coming regardless of what's in my mouth. And sometimes like I think that you've learned because you'll like take a look at me before you tell a joke to make sure I don't have something in my mouth.
There was also this one time, this is just like, this could be a podcast in and of itself. There was one time we were at this like improv show, and Alyssa, we were like kind of like arguing with this group of people for some reason. I can't remember why. They were being rude. They were being like shitty to us. Something. Anyways, we had kind of like a small like altercation, and then Alyssa laughed at something in the improv show and spewed onto this person in front of us. And
I forgot. Like, I didn't know you were there. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I did. I spewed onto the back of her head.
Onto the back of her head, yeah.
And then it was really embarrassing because I was like, I don't want her to think that like I was
you
like
purposely did that.
Like dumped water on her. Like it was just that there was a really funny joke and she was directly in front of me.
It was just the hand that was dealt to her that day.
That was so embarrassing. That was like, oh my goodness, I felt so bad about that. Anyway, what do you think our most important similarity is?
Our most important similarity? I don't know. Like it's hard to like put the finger on like what like our similarities are, but it's just like something about us just like meshes so well. Maybe I don't know how to say this without sounding like an asshole. There's some people that when they talk, I'm like, wow, this is really fucking boring. And it's like when I spend time with like other people sometimes, not like other friends, if you're watching this, not other friends, people I like don't know very well, I'm just like, oh wow, like this is like, I really don't actually like very many people.
Right. Yeah. I feel the same way.
But yeah, I think that like just, I guess like what we talk about and like the level of conversations we have and stuff like that is like, it's, yeah.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do find that like we have fun doing like whatever we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't like put a word to that.
Yeah. You kind of just have to be in it, and you can't.
It's like unexplainable.
Yeah. Woman like this, some people search forever for a woman like this.
She's tearing up at her own rendition of a moment like this.
But I changed it to a woman like this. Okay, ask your question.
My question is, this is my final question. What about me is hardest for you to understand?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
What is the hardest after I'm like crying here? I think probably your depression.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like not in a way where I'm like, I just don't get it. Like not like that, but it's like I don't struggle with depression. And I have feelings of like unmotivation and like days where I'm feeling like a lot lower, but there's just no way that I could really ever understand like because I'm like generally like it's easy for me to be grateful and it's easy for me to be positive most days. There's just no way that my mind could comprehend like not having the chemicals in my brain to be that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like I feel like I try to be like as like respectful and understanding as I can, but I don't have depression, so
yeah,
how could I know?
It's so funny you say that because like I say this all the time to Annie, my therapist. I'm like I can't imagine, like I cannot understand what it would be like to just like not have depression. Like like the fact that people just don't have depression, how is that possible? Like, it just seems like so unfathomable to me that people are actually just going about their life continually being like, okay. Like,
yeah.
it's just such a like weird thing to imagine. So that's funny.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's funny, but
not haha funny, but
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Hit me.
Okay is a good word to like describe, because not everybody is like going around like happy-go-lucky all the time, but like generally speaking, like we're all right.
Did I say okay?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was just saying like I like the way that you said it, basically.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Why do you think we met? I think that's such a great question to end on.
Of course you picked that freaking. Why do I think we met? Wow. It's so interesting, you and I, because we've had such a like kind of like up-down relationship.
Yeah.
I think we definitely like met for a reason. I think that we met because now I'm gonna cry.
Aww.
I think that we literally like, is there a more perfect match? Don't know them. Like, because don't cry, don't even look at me. But like, I think, oh fuck. But I think that like we like complement each other really well, and I think we balance each other out really well as well. Like, our differences and our similarities just like come together like so easily, and so I just don't want to do life with anyone else.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
Now we're both crying. This is not the makeup to cry in, you know?
I can't answer that question because it would be like full waterworks. So it's the same. You're going to have to label this Sam Eyewater 2, Alyssa Eyewater all.
Yeah. Full episode.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I learned some things today.
Yeah.
Those are good fucking questions.
They are really good questions, especially if you like don't live, work, and breathe somebody else. Mm-hmm. Like if it's somebody you like kind of know, or like maybe even like a party game.
Well, I thought party game would be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe a little depressing.
Well, yeah, like not like a let's drink party game, but like, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
What other birthday party game?
I don't know.
Happy birthday to me.
I don't know. Bring it on a first date.
Well, I actually thought that would be interesting for people that recently started dating.
Right.
They do actually have they have like a collaboration version of that game with Bumble.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was fun. Anyway, cool.
Well, thank you for finding that game for us.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks you guys for listening to our answers.
Okay. Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.